The meeting with the Draconian commander took place in a large glass building. Leaders from many countries sat on one side of a long table. The alien stood on the other side. It did not sit down. "Your planet has resources we need," the commander said. Its voice sounded like rocks sliding against each other. "We will take them. If you help us, some of you may live." The President of the United States leaned forward. "We want peace between our worlds. Surely we can share." "We do not share." The alien cut her off. "We take. This is your only warning." Kathy Wells watched from the back of the room. Something was wrong with the alien. Its scales kept shifting color from deep green to almost blue, and it seemed to be breathing too fast. "Commander," she said, stepping forward despite the security guards trying to stop her. "Are you uncomfortable in our atmosphere?" The alien's four eyes blinked in different patterns. "Your air is acceptable. Your gravity is tolerable." But Kathy saw how it swayed slightly. She glanced at Dr. Porter, who nodded. He had noticed too. The meeting ended quickly. The Draconian returned to its ship with a final warning. 3 days. Then we begin. Back at the command center, Kathy's team gathered to share what they had learned. "Did you see how it reacted when it first stepped into our air?" Dr. Porter asked. "Something about Earth bothers them." Samantha nodded, typing furiously on her computer. "Their ships are using massive energy just to maintain orbit. It's like they're fighting against something." "Maybe Earth has something unique," Kathy suggested. "Something they haven't encountered before?" Jack Rivera had been quiet until now. "I have something to show you." He placed a small metal object on the table. It looked like a smooth stone with lines of light running through it. "What is that?" Admiral Hutchins asked sharply. "A piece of their technology," Jack said. "When the commander returned to their ship, I managed to acquire it." "You stole from them?" Kathy asked, alarmed. "I took a sample," Jack corrected. "And look at it." They all leaned closer. The object was changing. The lights within it pulsed erratically, and its surface seemed to be losing its shine. "It's degrading," Dr. Porter said with surprise. "Just from exposure to our environment." Samantha carefully picked it up and connected it to her equipment. "I'm detecting unusual energy patterns. It's almost like..." "Like what?" the Admiral pressed. "Like, it's phasing in and out of our reality," she finished. Dr. Porter's eyes widened. "That's it. Earth has a unique quantum field. Most planets have stable fields, but ours fluctuates slightly. My colleagues and I discovered this years ago, but we never understood why." "And this affects their technology?" Kathy asked. "It must," Dr. Porter said. "Their tech seems to rely on quantum stability. Earth's natural fluctuations are like static in their systems." Admiral Hutchins looked skeptical. "Even if that's true, their fleet is still coming. A little static won't stop them." "Maybe not," Samantha said slowly. "But what if we could amplify it?" For the next 2 days, they worked without sleep. Dr. Porter and Samantha created a device to increase Earth's natural quantum fluctuations. Jack coordinated with military satellites to distribute the effect. Kathy studied every message from the Draconians, looking for signs of concern or weakness. The messages were becoming strange. Some repeated the same words over and over. Others seemed cut off mid-sentence. And the latest simply said, "Stop what you are doing." "They know," Kathy told the others. "They can feel what we're doing." The Draconian fleet was now just beyond the moon, hundreds of ships ready to attack. But their formation was changing. Ships moved out of position, then back again. Some seemed to flicker, becoming transparent for a moment before solidifying. "Our devices are working," Dr. Porter said. "But it's not enough. We need more power." Admiral Hutchins made a call. "The President has authorized using the global power grid. Every nation is cooperating." Samantha looked up from her computer. "If we do that, it might cause blackouts worldwide." "Better than the alternative," Jack said grimly. As the sun set across America, power stations diverted electricity to the quantum amplifiers. Lights went out in cities and towns. But in space, something amazing happened. The lead Draconian ship began to shimmer. It looked like heat waves rising from hot pavement, then without warning it vanished. Just disappeared. Another followed. Then another. "It's working," Samantha shouted. On screens around the world, people watched as the mighty Draconian fleet flickered like bad television reception. Ships appeared and disappeared. Some seemed to stretch into impossible shapes before blinking out of existence. The remaining ships tried to retreat. They turned away from Earth and fired their engines. But it was too late. The effect was spreading, carried by the solar wind. Within an hour, every Draconian ship was gone. The command center erupted in cheers. People hugged and cried. Phones rang constantly with reports from around the world. But Kathy noticed Dr. Porter standing quietly by his instruments. "Aren't you happy?" she asked him. "We won." He looked up with worried eyes. "But where did they go?" "Things don't just disappear. They go somewhere." Before Kathy could answer, Samantha called them over. "I'm picking up strange readings from the moon, like echoes of the ships." "Echoes?" Admiral Hutchins asked. "It's as if they're still there," Samantha explained, "but not in our reality." Dr. Porter nodded slowly. "The quantum field. We didn't destroy them. We pushed them into a parallel dimension." "Is that good or bad?" Jack asked. "I don't know," Dr. Porter admitted. "But they might find a way back." As the world celebrated Earth's victory, Kathy's team watched the skies. Sometimes, just for a moment, they could see the outline of a Draconian ship, like a ghost in the stars. There and then gone again. Earth had won its first battle with the Draconians. But Kathy knew this wasn't the end. It was just the beginning of something much bigger, something that would change humanity forever. The space station cameras caught it first, a dark mass moving against the stars. Not one ship, but thousands. They flew in perfect formation, like birds heading south for winter. But these were not birds. They were coming from beyond Pluto, from the cold darkness at the edge of our solar system. "Sir, you need to see this," said Ted Morris, the night shift operator at NASA's Deep Space Tracking Center. His boss, Dan Harris, rubbed his tired eyes and looked at the screen. The coffee mug slipped from his hand and crashed to the floor. "Call the president," he whispered. "Call everyone." Within hours, every TV, phone, and computer on Earth showed the same images. An alien fleet was coming. The biggest ships were the size of small cities. The smallest could hold 1,000 people. There were over 300 ships total. The world changed in a single day. Stock markets crashed. Some people ran to churches and temples. Others cleaned out grocery stores and hid in their homes. A few claimed it was all fake. But in the Pentagon, in a room deep underground, the brightest minds in the military knew it was very real. "Lieutenant Wells, thank you for coming so quickly," said Admiral Gary Hutchins. He was a tall man with gray hair and tired eyes. Kathy Wells stood straight, her uniform perfect despite her rushed trip from the language center in San Diego. "Happy to serve, sir, though I'm not sure how a linguist helps with alien ships." The Admiral pointed to a screen, where strange symbols flashed. "These started broadcasting 6 hours ago. Our computers think it's a language, but we can't make sense of it." Kathy studied the symbols. They seemed to flow and change, almost like they were alive. She had studied 23 human languages, but this was different. Still, there was a pattern. "It's not random," she said. "The symbols repeat in groups. That suggests grammar, structure." A new voice joined them. "That's why we called you." A man in a rumpled lab coat walked in. His badge read, "Dr. Alan Porter, Theoretical Physics." "The aliens will reach Earth orbit in 6 days," he said. "We need to know what they want before then." Kathy nodded. "I'll need more data and computing power." "You'll have everything," Admiral Hutchins promised. "But there's something else you should know." He pressed a button, and a new video appeared. It showed similar alien ships hovering over a blue-green planet. Then bright lights flashed. When the video cleared, The planet's surface was black and smoking. "This was sent to us by a dying probe from the Kepler system," the Admiral said quietly. "The probe identified the attackers as the Draconian Armada. They've attacked at least 37 worlds that we know of. No one has ever stopped them." Kathy felt cold fear in her stomach. "And now they're coming here." "Yes," said the Admiral, "unless we can find a way to communicate, to negotiate, or find their weakness," finished Dr. Porter. The door opened again, and 2 more people walked in. A woman with short black hair and quick eyes carried a laptop. Behind her walked a tall man with broad shoulders and a face marked by old scars. "This is Samantha Kelly, our best AI programmer," said the Admiral. "And Jack Rivera, former Navy SEAL and now head of our Special Ops training." Samantha hardly looked up from her computer. "The alien symbols are changing. They're adapting." "Adapting to what?" asked Kathy. "To us," Samantha said. "To Earth's signals. They're learning our languages in real time." As if to prove her point, the alien symbols on the screen suddenly changed to English letters. "Humans of Earth, prepare for inspection. Resistance means extinction." The room fell silent. "Well," Jack said with a grim smile, "at least we don't need a translator anymore." Kathy shook her head. "We still do. Language isn't just words. It's culture, intention, hidden meanings." "Lieutenant Wells is right," the Admiral said. "We need to understand not just what they're saying, but what they mean. You 4 will work together. Dr. Porter will study their technology. Samantha will use our AI systems to analyze their communications. Jack will assess their military capabilities, and Kathy will try to establish meaningful dialogue." "Sir," Jack said, "with all due respect, shouldn't we be preparing our defenses?" "Every military on Earth is on high alert," the Admiral replied. "But our most advanced weapons would be like throwing rocks at a tank. Our best hope is to find another way." For the next 3 days, Kathy barely slept. She studied every message from the aliens. They called themselves the Draconians, a species that had mastered space travel thousands of years ago. They demanded Earth's resources, water, minerals, and something they called biological diversity samples. On the 4th day, as the Draconian ships passed Mars, a new message arrived. "We will send a representative. Prepare your leaders." "They want to talk," Kathy told the others. "Or they want to study us up close before the attack," Jack said. Dr. Porter looked up from his instruments. "There's something odd about their approach. Their ships are using much more power than they should need. It's like they're struggling against something." "Earth's gravity?" suggested Samantha. "No," said Dr. Porter. "Something else. Something about Earth's field." Before he could explain further, the Admiral rushed in. "The Draconians have sent a small ship ahead of their fleet. It will land in Switzerland in 6 hours. They're demanding a face-to-face meeting." "Why Switzerland?" asked Jack. "Neutral ground," said Kathy. "They've been studying us. They know our politics, our history." "Which means they know our weaknesses," Jack added. The Admiral looked at each of them. "The President wants you 4 there. No one knows these aliens. Better than you do now." Samantha looked pale. "Us? We're not diplomats." "No," said the Admiral, "but you're the closest thing to experts we have. The future of humanity may depend on this meeting." As they left to prepare, Kathy felt the weight of 7 billion lives on her shoulders. In a few hours, she would look into the eyes of creatures from another world. Creatures who had destroyed dozens of planets. The Draconian ship landed exactly on time. It touched down in a field outside Geneva, melting the snow in a perfect circle around it. World leaders and military officers waited, behind barriers along with news crews broadcasting to the entire planet. The ship was smooth and dark, like wet stone. A door opened without a sound, and bright light poured out. The Draconian commander stepped onto Earth. It was 7 feet tall, with scaled skin that shifted color in the sunlight. Its head was long and narrow, with 4 eyes set in a face that reminded Kathy of ancient reptiles. It wore something like armor, but the material flowed and moved as if alive. As it breathed Earth's air for the first time, Kathy noticed something strange. The alien's scales rippled, and for just a moment its steady movement faltered. The Draconian commander stared at the humans, waiting for it. Then it spoke, its voice deep and clicking. "We are the Draconians. Your world is now ours." 3 weeks after the Draconian fleet vanished, strange things began to happen around the world. A farmer in Iowa found his cornfield covered in frost in the middle of summer. A fishing boat in Japan reported seeing a massive shadow under the water that disappeared when they got close. In the deserts of Australia, people saw ghostly ships in the sky that faded like mirages. Kathy and her team worked day and night to understand what was happening. They set up special equipment around the world to detect quantum fluctuations. "They're trying to come back," Dr. Porter said, looking at the readings. "The barrier between our dimension and theirs is thin in some places." Samantha pointed to her screen. "The activity is increasing. Look at these patterns." The screen showed dots of light appearing all over the world map. Each dot represented a place where draconian technology had briefly appeared in our world. "It's like they're testing the walls," Jack said, "looking for weak spots." Admiral Hutchins rubbed his tired eyes. "Can they break through?" Dr. Porter shook his head. "Not completely, not yet, but they're learning." A young officer rushed into the room. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission. It's from them." On the main screen, a face appeared. It was the Draconian commander, but it looked different. Its scales were pale and its 4 eyes seemed cloudy. "You have done something unexpected," it said, its voice distorted. "We are displaced." Kathy stepped forward. "You are in a parallel dimension. Your ships and technology don't work properly in our quantum field." The commander's eyes blinked rapidly. "Impossible. We have conquered 37 worlds. None had this defense." "Earth is unique," Dr. Porter said. "Our quantum field fluctuates naturally. It's why your ships were struggling even before we amplified it." The alien was silent for a moment. "We underestimated you. A mistake we have never made before." "You can't come back," Jack said firmly. "And if you try, we'll push you even further away." The commander made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Perhaps. Or perhaps we will find a way. We are adapting." The transmission cut off suddenly. The room was quiet. "Can they adapt?" Admiral Hutchins asked Dr. Porter. "Given enough time, maybe," he admitted. "Their technology is far beyond ours." "Then we need to be ready," the admiral said. "This isn't over." 2 days later, something new happened. A small Draconian scout ship briefly appeared over New York City. It was solid for almost 5 minutes before it flickered and vanished again. But in those 5 minutes, it dropped something. Jack led a team to retrieve the object. It was a small black box with the same flowing lines of light they had seen on all Draconian technology. "It's a communication device," Samantha said after scanning it. "And it's stable. It's not disappearing, like the other tech." "They've adapted it to work in our dimension," Dr. Porter said with concern. "They're learning faster than I expected." Kathy studied the box. "Should we activate it?" After much debate, they decided to take the risk. Samantha connected the box to an isolated computer system. A message appeared. "Humans, we offer terms. Release us and we will leave your world untouched." "Can we trust them?" Jack asked. Kathy shook her head. "They destroyed 37 worlds. They only respect power." They sent back a simple message. "No." The response came quickly. "Then watch." Across the world, the quantum fluctuations intensified. In 12 different locations, Draconian ships appeared briefly. Each time they fired energy weapons at the ground before disappearing again. The attacks were small, but deadly. A power station in Germany, a dam in Brazil, a bridge in China. Over 1,000 people died. "This is just the beginning," Admiral Hutchins said gravely. "They can't come through completely, but they can cause damage." Dr. Porter had an idea. "What if we could see into their dimension, understand what they're doing, how they're adapting?" "Is that possible?" Kathy asked. "Theoretically," Dr. Porter said. "We'd need to create a stable viewing portal, something that lets us see their dimension without letting them through. It took another week of work. They converted a large radio telescope in Puerto Rico into what Dr. Porter called a dimensional window. When they turned it on, the images made everyone gasp. The Draconian fleet was there, all 300 ships trapped in a strange gray version of our solar system. They could see the ships trying to move, engines glowing, but they moved like they were stuck in thick syrup. Time moves differently there, Dr. Porter explained. They experience it much slower than we do. That's good, right? Jack asked. It gives us more time to prepare. Yes and no, Dr. Porter said. It means they have more time to think, to plan. As they watched, they saw the Draconians gathering their ships in formation. They were building something huge. What is that? Admiral, Hutchins asked. Some kind of massive energy weapon, Samantha said, analyzing the readings. They're going to try to punch a hole between dimensions. Kathy felt cold fear. How long until they finish it? At their time rate? Maybe years, Dr. Porter said. In our time? Maybe a week. They needed a new plan. If the Draconians broke through, Earth would be defenseless. The quantum amplifiers had worked once, but the aliens were adapting. Samantha had been quiet, staring at her computer. What if we don't just keep them out? She said finally. What if we push them even further away? To another dimension? Dr. Porter asked. Is that possible? In theory, Samantha said. If we modify the quantum amplifiers, we could create a cascade effect, push them from their current dimension to one even further removed from ours. Would that kill them? Kathy asked. Samantha shook her head. I don't know. But it would make it even harder for them to return. It was a difficult choice. They didn't want to destroy the Draconians, just stop them from attacking Earth. But they had to protect their world. Do it, Admiral Hutchins ordered. They worked, around the clock, modifying the global network of quantum amplifiers. This time they would need even more power. The entire planet would go dark for several minutes. As they prepared, the Draconian weapon grew larger. Through the dimensional window they could see it taking shape. A massive array of energy collectors all pointed at Earth. They're almost ready, Dr. Porter warned. We have hours, not days. World leaders gave the order. At exactly noon GMT, power stations around the world diverted all electricity to the quantum amplifiers. Cities went dark. Hospitals switched to emergency generators. The internet went down. And in space, the barrier between dimensions rippled like water. Through the dimensional window, they watched as the Draconian ships began to fade. The aliens fired their weapon, a brilliant beam of energy that reached toward Earth. For a moment, it looked like it might break through. Then the cascade effect took hold. The ships didn't just fade. They seemed to fold in on themselves, becoming smaller and smaller, until they were just points of light. Then those too disappeared. The dimensional window showed nothing but empty space. Did it work? Kathy asked softly. I think so, Dr. Porter said. They're gone, pushed into a dimension so far from ours that they can't affect us anymore. But even as he said it, a small dot of light appeared on the screen. Then another, and another. What's happening? Admiral Hutchins demanded. Samantha checked her instruments. It's not them, it's other ships, coming from different parts of space. More Draconians? Jack asked, reaching for his weapon. No, Kathy said, studying the signals. Different designs, different energy signatures. And they're sending a message, Samantha said. Words appeared on the screen. Humans of Earth, may we approach? We come in peace and wonder. The room was silent as they realized what this meant. Other alien species had been watching. They had seen Earth defeat the mighty Draconian Armada, and now they wanted to talk. Humanity's first great test was over, but its journey to the stars was just beginning. 6 months after the Draconians disappeared, 3 alien ships orbited Earth. Unlike the aggressive Draconian vessels, these ships kept their distance and waited for permission to send representatives. The first visitors called themselves the Telari. They looked like tall, thin humans with pale blue skin and large eyes. The second species, the Vorax, resembled giant octopuses that moved in special water tanks. The third were the Myth, who were made of something like living crystal. All three came with the same message: thank you. The Draconians conquered our world centuries ago, the Talari ambassador told Earth's United Nations. They took our resources, enslaved our people, and destroyed anyone who resisted. You are the first to defeat them. How did you find us? Kathy asked. She had been appointed as Earth's chief diplomat to the alien visitors. We have been watching, the Vorax representative bubbled through its translator. Many species have observed your world from afar. When the Draconian Armada approached, we expected Earth to fall like all others. Instead, you made them vanish. The Myth representative, whose crystal body reflected rainbow light across the room, added, Word has spread throughout the galaxy. Earth is now known as the Forbidden Planet, a place where even the mighty Draconians disappeared. Admiral Hutchins frowned. That makes us sound dangerous. You are dangerous, the Talari said simply, but only to those who threaten you. To friends you offer hope. The visitors brought gifts. The Talari offered medical knowledge far beyond Earth's. The Vorax shared ocean farming techniques that could end world hunger. The Myth provided clean energy technology, but they also brought a warning. The galaxy is changing, the Talari ambassador said during a private meeting with Kathy's team. For thousands of years, the Draconians kept order through fear. With them gone, other powers will rise, some may be worse. We need to prepare, Jack said. If the Draconians found us, others will too. The president appointed Kathy to lead a new agency, the Galactic Relations Department. Dr. Porter, Samantha, and Jack joined as her leadership team. Their job was to learn everything they could from the alien visitors while protecting Earth's interests. We need a representative at the Galactic Council, the Myth advised. All spacefaring species send delegates there. After much debate, they chose Ambassador Linda Boyd, a veteran diplomat with decades of experience. Kathy helped prepare her for the mission. Remember, she told Linda, they think we have some special power or weapon that defeated the Draconians. Don't correct them. Let them wonder. Ambassador Boyd traveled on a Talari ship to the Galactic Council, located on a massive space station in a neutral star system. She was the first human to leave the solar system. Her initial reports were troubling. The other species are terrified of us, she wrote. When I enter a room, conversations stop. No one will sit near me at meetings. Kathy advised her to use this fear. Don't threaten, but don't appear weak either. Earth needs respect, not friends. Right now. Meanwhile, Dr. Porter continued studying the dimensional window. He made a disturbing discovery. The Draconians aren't completely gone, he told the others one night. I'm detecting energy pulses from their dimension. Faint, but growing stronger. What does it mean? Admiral Hutchins asked. They're trying to communicate across dimensions, Samantha explained, maybe even trying to find a way back. Jack pounded his fist on the table. We pushed them away once. We can do it again. It's not that simple, Dr. Porter said. They're learning, adapting, and we don't fully understand the technology we used against them. We got lucky. They decided to keep this information secret. Earth was just beginning to build relationships with other aliens. Panic about the Draconians returning would not help. 3 months later, Ambassador Boyd sent an urgent message from the Galactic Council. Another powerful species, the Krell Dominion, was demanding to know Earth's dimensional weapon technology. They don't believe it was a natural defense, Boyd reported. They think we have a superweapon. Kathy drafted a careful response. Earth's dimensional properties are natural to our world and cannot be shared or replicated. The Krell did not accept this answer. Their ships began moving toward Earth's solar system. They're not as powerful as the Draconians, the Talari ambassador warned. But they are dangerous and unpredictable. Admiral Hutchins wanted to prepare Earth's new defense systems developed with alien help. But Kathy had another idea. Let's invite them to visit, she suggested. Show them we have nothing to hide. The others thought she was crazy. But Kathy, insisted. "If they come to Earth, they'll experience our quantum field themselves. Their technology will malfunction just like the Draconians. They'll see the truth." After tense negotiations, 3 Krell ships entered Earth orbit. The Krell were reptilian like the Draconians, but smaller and with bright red scales. They demanded to inspect Earth's dimensional weapons. Kathy met their leader, War Master Grak, at the same Swiss meeting center where they had met the Draconian commander. As she expected, the Krell began having problems as soon as they landed. Their communication devices flickered. Their personal shields failed. War Master Grak, trying to hide his discomfort, growled, "Where are your weapons? Show us." "We have no special weapons," Kathy explained calmly. "Earth's quantum field naturally fluctuates. Your technology is affected because it depends on quantum stability, just as the Draconian technology did." Grak's scales darkened in anger. "You lie. No natural phenomenon could defeat the Draconian Armada." Kathy motioned to Dr. Porter, who activated a small device. It showed readings of Earth's quantum field. "See for yourself," she said. "Earth exists at what scientists call a dimensional fold, a place where multiple quantum realities overlap. We didn't create this. We were born here. It's our home." The Krell scientists examined the readings, their expressions changing from disbelief to wonder. "It's true," one finally admitted to Grak. "This planet is unique in the galaxy." The War Master looked deeply troubled. "If we had attacked, your ships would have suffered the same fate as the Draconians," Kathy finished for him. "We don't want enemies, War Master, but we will defend our home." The Krell left quickly, their ships struggling to maintain stable orbit until they were far from Earth. 2 days later, Ambassador Boyd reported that the Krell had withdrawn all forces from Earth's sector and proposed a non-aggression treaty. News of the Krell retreat spread quickly through the galaxy. More alien delegations arrived, seeking alliances, trade agreements, or simply to see the mysterious humans who lived on the Forbidden Planet. Earth suddenly found itself a major power in galactic politics, not because of its technology or military might, but because of its unique nature. "We should be careful," Jack warned during a strategy meeting. "All this attention brings risk." "Yes," Kathy agreed, "but also opportunity. For the first time, humanity can enter the galactic community from a position of strength." Admiral Hutchins nodded slowly. "The question is, what do we do with that strength?" As they debated Earth's future role in galactic affairs, a message arrived from one of their monitoring stations. The dimensional window had detected new activity. The Draconians were building something again. Samantha analyzed the readings. "It's not a weapon this time. It looks like a communication array. A big one." "They're trying to talk to us?" Jack asked, surprised. "Or to someone else," Dr. Porter suggested grimly. They increased security around the Dimensional Window project. If the Draconians found a way to communicate across dimensions, Earth needed to know. A week later, they got their answer. A message came through the Dimensional Window, distorted but clear enough to understand. "Humans, we will return. Time passes differently here. For us, it has been centuries. We have learned, adapted, prepare." The message sent shockwaves through Earth's leadership. The Draconians had not given up, and in their dimension, they had had centuries to plan their revenge. Kathy looked out at the night sky, where alien ships now regularly visited Earth orbit. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, but their greatest challenge was still out there, watching, waiting. The stars no longer seemed peaceful. They held their breath, waiting to see what would happen next. 1 year after Earth defeated the Draconian Armada, humanity had changed. People looked up at the stars differently now. Children played games about aliens. Scientists worked with visitors from other worlds. And Earth had built its first real starship, with help from their new allies. Kathy Wells stood in the control room of the Dimensional Defense Network headquarters, looking at screens that monitored space around Earth. 20 alien ships were in orbit, from 15 different species, all peaceful visitors or allies. Director Wells, a young officer called. We're picking up something strange from Mars. Kathy walked over to his station. The screen showed a patch of Martian surface that seemed to be flickering. Get Dr. Porter, she ordered. Now. Dr. Porter arrived minutes later, followed by Samantha and Jack. The four of them had become Earth's first line of defense against dimensional threats. It's a breakthrough, Dr. Porter said after studying the readings. The Draconians have found a weak spot in the dimensional barrier. Mars doesn't have Earth's quantum field protection, Samantha explained. It's more vulnerable. Jack was already on the phone with Admiral Hutchins. We need to deploy the Mars Defense Fleet immediately. 5 human ships built with alien technology were stationed near Mars. They carried special quantum amplifiers designed by Dr. Porter and Samantha. Will they be enough? Kathy asked. I don't know, Dr. Porter admitted. The message said the Draconians have had centuries to prepare in their time flow. They might have developed technology we can't imagine. The flickering on Mars grew stronger. Then suddenly, a Draconian ship appeared. Not just an outline or a ghost image, but a real, solid ship. It hovered over the Martian surface for nearly an hour before disappearing again. They're testing, Samantha said, seeing how long they can maintain a presence in our dimension. 3 days later, it happened again. This time, 3 ships appeared. They stayed for 2 hours, landed briefly, then vanished. What are they doing on the surface? Jack wondered. Building something, Kathy guessed. A base or a portal. She was right. Satellite images showed a strange structure taking shape on Mars. It grew each time the Draconians appeared, a little at a time. Earth's allies were concerned. The Talari ambassador warned, if they establish a foothold on Mars, they could adapt to your dimension more easily. The myth suggested, you should destroy whatever they are building. But before they could act, something unexpected happened. A message arrived not through the dimensional window but through normal communication channels. From Mars. Humans. We offer terms again. This time the message continued. We cannot defeat Earth's natural defenses, but Mars is ours now. A neutral zone between dimensions. We will not attack Earth if you do not attack our Mars base. It's a trick, Jack insisted during the emergency meeting. They're just buying time. Maybe, Kathy said. But what if they're telling the truth? What if they've accepted they can't conquer Earth? Dr. Porter studied the latest readings from Mars. Their technology is still unstable there. They can only maintain presence for a few hours at a time. It would be very difficult for them to launch an effective attack on Earth from Mars. President Barnes, who had replaced the previous administration, asked, what exactly are they doing on Mars? Building a dimensional research station, from what we can tell, Samantha answered. Studying the barrier between our universes. Research? The president repeated. Not weapons? It seems that way, Samantha confirmed. But we can't be certain. After much debate, Earth sent a response. We accept your terms with conditions. No weapons directed at Earth. No expansion beyond Mars. Regular. Inspections of your base by neutral third parties. To everyone's surprise, the Draconians agreed. The Mars Treaty, as it became known, was Earth's first formal agreement with the Draconians. Many people were unhappy about it, arguing that the aliens couldn't be trusted. But Kathy defended the IO decision. We're not just accepting their word, she explained to the public. We're watching them constantly, and we're learning from them. Indeed, observing the Draconian base on Mars taught Earth scientists a great deal about dimensional physics. Dr. Porter made breakthroughs that led to new technologies for Earth's growing fleet. 2 years passed. The uneasy peace held. Earth's position in the galaxy grew stronger. Humans began traveling to nearby star systems as guests on alien ships. Some even took jobs on the Galactic Council space station. Then one day, Samantha made a surprising discovery. I've been analyzing the Draconian communications, she told the others. They're not just talking to their base on Mars. They're communicating with other species. Which ones? Jack asked sharply. Many different ones, Samantha said. including some that are allies of Earth, Kathy frowned. What are they saying? It's heavily encrypted, Samantha admitted, but I've decoded parts. They're offering protection. Protection from what? Admiral Hutchins asked. The answer came 3 days later when Ambassador Boyd sent an urgent message from the Galactic Council. A new threat had emerged from a distant part of the galaxy. A species called the Void Collective was expanding rapidly, consuming everything in their path. They're worse than the Draconians ever were, Boyd reported. They don't conquer, they absorb. Entire planets, species, everything. The Void Collective had already taken 12 star systems. Their ships were unlike anything seen before, able to break down matter and energy at a fundamental level. The Council is in panic, Boyd continued. Many species are looking to Earth for leadership. They believe your dimensional technology might be the only defense against the collective. Kathy immediately called an emergency session with Earth's alien allies. The Talari, Vorax, Myth, and others attended, along with a surprise guest, a Draconian representative, appearing via hologram from Mars. The Void Collective threatens all dimensions, all realities, the Draconian said. Its voice was still harsh and reptilian, but it spoke with something like respect when addressing the humans. We have fought them before, in other realms. They cannot be reasoned with. Why should we trust you? Jack demanded. Because we have a common enemy now, the Draconian answered simply. And because we have something you need. It explained that the Draconian centuries in the other dimension had taught them much about moving between realities. The research station on Mars wasn't just studying the barrier, it was developing ways to use dimensional shifting as a weapon. Against Earth? Kathy asked. Originally, yes, the Draconian admitted. But we have reconsidered. The Void Collective is a greater threat to us all. We offer our knowledge to you, to use against them. It was a difficult decision. Working with the Draconians meant trusting an enemy that had tried to destroy Earth, but facing the Void Collective alone might be impossible. In the end, Kathy made the call. We accept your offer, but understand this. If you betray us, Earth, we'll find a way to push your entire species into a dimension so far from ours that you'll never find your way back. The Draconian made a sound that might have been a laugh. You humans, always making threats you might not be able to keep, but also doing impossible things. That is why we will work with you. Over the next months, a strange alliance formed. Earth, scientists worked with Draconian experts. The Mars base became a joint research facility. Dr. Porter and Samantha spent weeks there, learning dimensional technology that was centuries beyond human understanding. The first test of their cooperation came when a Void Collective scout ship entered the solar system. It was massive and black, absorbing all light around it. Earth's fleet moved to intercept it, joined by ships from their alien allies. But the real defense was invisible, a dimensional field generator built using Draconian science and powered by Earth's unique quantum properties. When the Void ship reached Jupiter, the generator activated. Space itself seemed to bend around the enemy vessel. The black ship stretched, twisted, and then vanished with a flash of light. Did we destroy it? President Barnes asked. No, Dr. Porter said. We sent it elsewhere, to a dimension where it can't harm anyone. The success changed everything. Suddenly, Earth wasn't just one more world in the galaxy.